Good afternoon to my Neapolitans. NeapolitanGal here. I'm trying something new on my phone. I downloaded a while back and haven't really had an opportunity to play with it, but I'm trying it today. It's a screen recorder that also records my voice, and which has given me the opportunity to try out some of these Wednesday giveaways while I'm finishing up my lunch break at work. So let's jump right in. All right. I have about 5 minutes I can play with this um, and go from there. So, how's everyone's Wednesday doing? Mine's been kind of busy. This is not usually the time of year that businesses are busy in my area, but today has still been a little on the nutty side. So, let's see what we can win, if anything, today. I'm only going to be doing the follows and the no entry requirement. That way we're not sitting and watching videos for my last couple minutes before I have to go back inside. Um, so let's see what we can come up with, if anything. I actually already have a 90, looks just like that. Mine's kind of old, so I was kind of excited when I saw this pop up because I do like the nightgown. Um, it's just mine's, well past its prime. Whether I win or not, I may actually go back and buy one of these because with the discount they're giving, it's not so bad. All right, so we've gone through those. This one's next. I like that they're giving you a panty to go with it. The only thing I don't like is that you're not seeing what size you're going to receive. So it could be end up being like the bathing suit I won that one time, where they just reach in a box and grab a bag and whatever they send you, they send you. Which that sort of sucks, And when I won that bathing suit, right away, I do mean right away, I hopped on to their sellers page because there was no way in the listing to say send me this size. There was no way in the listing to do that. So you were more or less at the mercy of the shipper, whoever was reaching in the bag and shipping stuff off. You were at their mercy. So I think I've already tried these. Yes, I did. Um, so it sort of sucks when that is the case. But it's still free. It still ended up being a gift that was given to one person that she passed on to somebody else because it was also too small for her. Oops, this was a video one. I've got 2 minutes left, so let's not do any video ones. Let's see, these are all books. Oh, there's a matching bra and panty set. Let's see what we come up with. Nope. Now, the reason I actually have my phone turned sideways rather than vertical is that if I do win, it will actually wind up um, popping up my mailing address. So, trying to keep that on the down low. But, so that's why I have my phone turned sideways. Night at the museum, secret of the tomb. Oh, darn. Could have swore that said no entry requirement. I'll watch a short video. Okay. Alright, I have about a minute left. I'm going to go inside. When I get home this evening, I'll do a continuation of this. We'll actually continue it straight from my phone and go from there. I would do this at work, but I can't sit and chat, while I'm working. So Alright, I think we'll finish up this page and call it a day, well, at least this time of day, and head in. Hey Neapolitan fans, NeapolitanGal back. So, I'm home, I don't have any time constraints, and let's see if we can finish going through some of these Wednesday giveaways. Now I can actually watch some of the videos. This would be kind of cool. It is an entire block and cheese set. It includes 4 cheese knives, 3 bowls, and 6 stainless steel forks. So, now as you know, I don't usually have the sound on for the videos when I watch them. That's just so the videos don't take over the sound of whatever it is I'm watching, you know. Whoop, I forgot to turn my phone sideways. Here we go. Continue to entry. And bouncy, bouncy. Oh, didn't win. Okay. So for those of you who missed the first part of the video, the reason I've turned my phone sideways is if I do win, my home address isn't flashed up onto the screen. It'll be down below what is visible currently or on the screen right now. So, now my family and I aren't wine drinkers, but you know, I do have parties every once in a while, so something like that wine set wouldn't be bad. That would be something I could pull out and be kind of a nice addition to whatever meal it is that we're having. Typically when we have a meal as a party type thing, we call it steak night. It's typically myself, my mother, and a couple of our friends. My husband almost always is working during these parties. And being a steak night, my son doesn't much care for red meat, so a lot of times he has like the popcorn chicken or something from the local grocery store deli, not far from where we are, and which makes it okay, you know. I mean, yeah, not everybody likes red meat. He eats some burger, but you know, steak he doesn't much care for. And you know, those of you who are saying, well, you probably aren't cooking it right. Well, yeah, we are. We're cooking it, you know, to my husband's liking and to my liking, which is anywhere from medium to well. And so, you know. But so let's try some of this stuff. This is lip mask therapy. I've heard henna stuff stinks, and I know that from experience when my niece got a henna tattoo, they smelled pretty bad. So I can only imagine what this stuff would smell like. So you have to excuse my allergies. Being in Southwest Florida, it is full-blown allergy season, and you could take allergy medicine all day long and you still sniffle. So let's see. Eucalyptus sinus relief body wash. I don't much care for the smell of eucalyptus, but you know, some days you just are, you know, so stuffy that you're almost willing to do anything. Miss Christmas. This is probably a Kindle edition. Now, if you look at these, if you've never seen my videos before, this tells me that every 300 entries will win up to 2 winners. This started on July 4th. This ends tomorrow at 11:59 and 59 seconds Pacific Daylight Time, which is a little after 3 our time, right around 3 o'clock our time in the morning. So let's see. Now, those of you who have seen some of my videos, you know that I've got a book, you know, library full of books. So, last thing I need is another book. More or less, I am just trying to get this to where you guys can actually see we actually win something for a change. I don't believe any of you have ever seen me win, unless, at least not on camera going through my normal videos. You've seen me take videos aside and splice them in, and you've seen me win that way, but I think it would be much more exciting to actually see me win something in not so much real time, but in, without being spliced in somewhere. Okay. That is a beautiful cat. Did you know that black panthers really aren't panthers? They're not part of the Panthera family. They are leopards. We have an animal rescue here in Naples, and let's see who has Jade. I believe it's the Kaiwi Achobi here locally that has a black leopard named Jade, and also our local zoo has a black leopard. And there is literature at the zoo that says, black panthers don't exist. Black leopards do, though. These would be kind of cool. My mom travels a lot and she loves pigs. I would love to win that. Just why not, I might actually go back and buy those, but not right now. So let's try these luggage tags. I don't travel very much, but when I do travel, I always have something like a scrunchie or a colorful piece of fabric that I can recognize as my own, usually tagged right onto my luggage. It makes it so much easier as stuff's coming around. We've got an older set of red luggage, but a lot of people still have those sets of red luggage like we do. And it's very noticeable. So it's a very common set of luggage, and when I put that little piece of fabric or hair tie or whatever on it, it's so easy just to, there's my piece of luggage. There. Oh, got it. You know how that goes. That belt's going around so darn fast. You've got to, excuse me, kind of grab your piece of luggage off the belt. We used to travel quite a bit, at least once a year on a plane. My husband has traveled recently a couple of times, for one thing or another. But I haven't, oh my gosh. I haven't actually done traveling by plane in a great number of years. And every year my friend and I and our kids go camping, and that's always a road trip, because it's always within the state of Florida. Like next year though, the kids can't stand one another, and they're getting bored of going camping and tubing, so it'll just be me and my friend and anybody else that we can get to go with us then. But that soccer ball's kind of cute. Nope, didn't mind. So, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, comment, share. Tell me what you would like to see me do. Tell me what you are bored of seeing me do. I'm sure this is the most boring part of all of my videos right here, is me going through and trying to win everything. And for those of you who are seeing this for the first time, you're like, why does she try to win everything? I'm not trying to win everything, I'm trying to win something. There's, very few times when you'll actually win, multiples. I have had, a few weeks ago, 3 back-to-back wins, and one of those wins actually just happened to be a Kindle. I
have zero use for the Kindle, but, you know, I did win a Kindle. I got it last week in the mail. Was it last week in the mail? No, I'm sorry, it came by UPS last week. And my son brought it in. And I wasn't even going to open it at all. And it turned out, you know, the box was damaged because it just came in a padded bag. So I opened it up to make sure that it wasn't damaged because I wasn't shipping for so many years. It's just a habit to open things up to make sure they're not damaged when they're shipping properly. And that's what I did. It was fine. But, you know, it's always it's a habit because you have so much time to claim damaged items. But I'm not even sure how that one will be claimed because it was won. It wasn't paid for. So now these cases are awesome. These are called Beast Joy cases, and those 4 spots there, those are actually screws. This case protects your phone all directions. It even comes with another screen protector. You can submerge this thing up to 12 feet for up to 2 hours. So, you know, if something happens and you're in the water, as long as you're not in the water any longer than that and don't go down any further than that, your phone will be fine, according to the literature. My son actually has one for his phone. And, you know, I read some of the reviews after we bought it. I was like, some of the reviews were like, you know, bad signal after putting on this case, because the case, I believe, is partially metal. But you know what? I think it probably all depends on where you live as well. If you live in a rural area, you probably are going to have poor signal. We don't live in a rural area. We live about 3 miles outside of the Everglades National Park, but we are in an urban area. So, you know, we can we have towers around us, so. There we go. I can definitely see, like, one of my friends I took to the airport yesterday. Her parents live up in Vermont, and they have no cellular service. So I can definitely see people who already really don't have that great of service having even worse trouble than you're probably going to be willing to admit to. But the case has nothing to do with it. These cases are awesome, though. I mean, I would trust this case as much as I trust my OtterBox on my phone. Actually, I would probably trust this one more because my particular OtterBox is not a watertight OtterBox. I used to have a watertight OtterBox many years ago for my iPhone 4, but I know, you know, obviously I'm much further advanced than that these days. So tell me, what kind of phone case do you guys use? Have you ever had to test your phone case? Like, have you ever gotten into the water with your phone case willingly, or maybe not so willingly? Have you ever drowned a phone? You know, I read one review with the Beast Joy case that this guy, you know, like a lot of us do, you know, some of us, you know, put stuff up on the roof of the car and getting other stuff in the car, and, you know, all of a sudden you go to grab your phone and your phone isn't there. And what happened to him is it slid off. You know, he basically did the soda pop, you know, drink thing. It slid off the roof, and when he pulled forward, because it slid off, I guess, around his driveway, and he pulled forward, he ran it over. And he claims that when he ran it over, that nothing happened. The case cracked a little bit, but the phone was perfectly fine. Again, that's not a scenario that I would be willing to repeat, but hey. So, any of y'all anywhere near the Louisiana, Mississippi coastline, up there where Barry is trying to form? It's funny, we haven't done a hurricane map in years. My husband decided that he wanted to do a hurricane map this year. So he goes to our local grocery store, I think Publix, and he finds one up by the service desk. And now he's trying to track Barry on it. I think even though we've had many storms since, I think the last storm we actually tracked with one of those things by hand was Katrina. And those of you are saying, wait a minute, you were in Southwest Florida, and Katrina took out New Orleans. Well, yes and no. Yes, Katrina took out New Orleans, but she came across Florida first. So, see, these videos are really annoying. So, always mute the videos. Now again, with clothing, if you haven't heard me say it before, be real careful when you get clothing like this. I'll show you. This one says extra large. Now sometimes when you try to win clothing, it doesn't have a size indicated. And that totally sucks when that happens, because if you don't have a size indicated, then they could send you basically anything, more or less. They stick their hand in a box, and whatever they come out with is yours. There's no way to contact sellers to make sure that they send your size. I won a tankini a while back.
Good evening, my Neapolitan fans. I'm NeapolitanGal. Now, I've done 2 videos on my phone today. I've found a screen capture program that actually allows me to record. So I've done 2 videos on my phone opening up some giveaways, but I still have some that I bookmarked the other night, and I decided, okay, I'll just pick up where I left off, and then I'll just make one big long video. So let's I've got a ton of giveaways open up here. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 open that I have not opened yet, and we're going to open them together. So, first one is this beautiful magnolia picture. Love it. Let's see if I can win something.
Oh, she's the smallest person I know.
No. This is like a New York subway print. Actually, it says London, looks like.
Since you work with a bunch of teenage girls, I'm sure one of them on the band has got
and nope, I haven't won in a while, so I'm really hoping to win something this evening.
Pass it along. I'm sure.
It's funny I say I haven't won in a while. And
that's what she did. There's a girl even tinier than herself.
Okay, so let's try this one out. This is a UV nail dryer. I'm not real sure about these guys because, the UV lights are supposed to be bad for you to begin with. And I don't know about intentionally subjecting your skin to a UV light like that. But
y'all have a great evening, my Neapolitans.
Multivitamins for women.
NeapolitanGal. And
I know a couple more of these have videos, so we'll go play these videos real fast, then we'll come back. I had to pause the video for a couple minutes, so I should have done this while I was doing that. Okay. Did not win. Alright, so
And what I've done is, I can't show you the way I've got this set up, but I do have an entire list over here on this side of my screen showing you that, yeah, I can't, showing, that has all the giveaways in it that I've saved. So I usually try to open up 5 or 6 of these at a whack. And then if they've told me that the giveaway is ended, like that one, or any of these for the giveaways have ended, or I've already tried them and forgotten, so then I just go straight back through a bunch of them again. And the reason I'm doing this is I did open up a bunch of the Wednesday giveaways. And because I did open up a bunch of the Wednesday giveaways, I honestly don't know what I've still got up here to open up. So I want to get a few more of these open. Let's see, that one's ended. Ended. Oops, still got a chance to win that one. Now again, I'm sure a lot of you are like, save some for the rest of us. You don't have to go through and try to win all these, and I'm not trying to win them all. Though, yeah, it would be nice if I could win them all, but I'm not trying to win them all. I am just simply here to try to win something, I've won some stuff, yes, I have. But, what can I say? I love to win. The great thing is, you're not going to win a bunch. You're not going to win every day. You're not going to win everything. So it gives you an opportunity to go try and win some things, but with zero guarantee of doing so. And if you win, even better. If I win stuff that I can't use, there's always Christmas around the corner. Or there's always, reselling. Or just gift giving in general. So there's always something to do with whatever you win. Until my current job, I used to listen to the radio a lot in the mornings and would win concert tickets. I've won tickets directly after Hurricane Irma. I won to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. Oh, that's so much fun. I don't know if it's more fun just to go and experience, or if it's more fun to watch the grown-ass men come running out of haunted houses screaming. Quite honestly, that's got to be my favorite thing right there, is watching. We were standing in the line, this was 2 years ago. We were standing in line for the Saw haunted house. And, where we were standing at is where the exit was for the haunted house. And to see these grown men come running out screaming, it was enough to put you in stitches. It really was. It was just one of those things that you don't expect to see, because they are grown men. And it's all just people in costumes. Yeah, the costumes look good because it is Universal Studios. But you still know better. You still know it's not real. These people can't touch you. Most they can touch in these haunted houses, I believe, is like your, hem of your blouse or something like that. Just, enough to get your attention, but everybody is an actor. So they can't harm you. They can make you jump out of your skin, sure, but they can't do anything to you. So, and you get a lot of people who, we all know this, but it's still the creep factor, But it's still funny as hell. I mean, I'm not one to get scared of stuff like that easily. So, you know, when I walked through the haunted house with friends, I was like, yeah, sure. But I will tell you, if you ever go to a Hallow Scream in like Busch Gardens or the one yeah, the one at Universal Studios, be prepared to stand in lines much longer than the ones on the daytime rides because it's insane. And I think it's that way because, yeah, you know, in Florida, standing in lines for Halloween Horror Nights or Hallow Scream, um, a lot of times can be hot. So at nighttime, it usually isn't all that hot, depending on when you go to Halloween Horror Nights and Hallow Scream. Like we went to Hallow Scream several years back. That's Busch Gardens in Tampa. And it was freezing cold. It was the first cold night of, you know, that's end of the year. We went November 1st. And I got so sick because we were riding roller coasters. It was so cold. We were prepared for the cold, but you can't totally prepare for the cold when you're traveling 60 to over 100 miles an hour. Sorry, I got a text message. When you're traveling that fast, it's really just difficult to regulate your body temperature. And so many parks now, because of all the dummies out there, have to have rules about, you know, one thing or another, so it's really hard. Yeah, you can go in with jackets, but it's, you know, there's not a whole lot more that you really can go in with to keep yourself warm while you're riding these rides. I mean, it's just next to impossible to keep warm while you're riding those rides anyway. So, I know the one drop tower thing they have, oh my goodness. That thing, if you are acrophobic in the least, do not go on it unless you're trying to get yourself away from that irrational fear. Because I am here to tell you that it'll scare you. And it's not that it'll scare you, it's just the way the ride is designed. If you look up Falcon's Fury on YouTube, you will get a better idea of what I'm talking about. The Falcon's Fury is a drop tower. It is the tallest drop tower at the time. It was the tallest drop tower in the state of Florida, I believe. And also at the time, it was also the tallest drop tower in the country. And what they do is they lift you hydraulically up this shaft that's 360 feet above the ground. And what happens is it takes you up to the top. Your seats are in a ring around the shaft of this ride. And when you get to the very top, you know, you're seated like this. But when you get to the very top, they turn you down like this, and you're facing down. You're facing the ground. And then about 10 to 15 feet before you hit the ground, so to speak, is when, you know, they put on the brakes and your seat's set up and you finish sliding down so your feet will touch the ground. It's a total rush. When we were there that night, this was 4 years ago, I think, when we were there that night, it had, now again, I did mention it has hydraulic pressure that they had to build up in order to make the ride work. It had lost its hydraulic pressure. So when it lost its hydraulic pressure, it wasn't that it was a danger to people. It was they just had to build up the hydraulic pressure again. And it took, basically what they had to do to build up the hydraulic pressure again was take the ride up and down a couple of times, because they couldn't put body weight on it until it had rebuilt itself. Then once the pressure had built back up, then it was good to go. But in the meantime, you had people who don't realize how the rides work, and so they were afraid of getting on that particular ride because, hey, it just broke down, right? No, it didn't break down. It just was being used so much that night, and it's a brand new ride at the time. So it was being used so much that night and being such a brand new ride that, normally at nighttime is when they do all this stuff, but it's kind of hard to do it with a full park, So, alright, so that is the end of the giveaways. Y'all have a fantastic evening. I know those are the last of the giveaways, other than books and stuff, because I went through this 2 nights ago and bookmarked every last giveaway for that particular day. So the entire evening one day when I got home from work, that's what I did. I went through 147 pages that day and bookmarked everything. So what I'll do this weekend is I'll go through and I'll do it all over again for the current giveaways that are up and running. Alright, Neapolitan fans, I'm NeapolitanGal, and it's time to say see y'all later.